anything that isn't meant for you. All right, Libra, let's get into your reading. All right, the energy that I have for you today is this, and it hit the table with intensity. This person cannot stop thinking about you, and the thoughts have become something they cannot manage. Their mind created a loop they never asked for, and that loop centers on one unbearable image. The idea of you with someone else tears through them, and they cannot make it stop at all. It follows them into every quiet moment, and no distraction has been strong enough to break it. They are unraveling over this possibility alone, and the cards confirm exactly how deep it runs. Let us dive into this now, because the energy sitting on this table is raw and completely undeniable. The first card we have is the King of Cups reversed, and this reveals total emotional chaos. This card shows someone who normally holds composure, and that composure has completely fallen apart now. They pride themselves on staying measured and calm, and right now they are anything but that with you. Their emotions are running wild without permission, and jealousy has taken control away from their logic. The King of Cups reversed confirms they cannot regulate what they feel, and it frustrates them deeply. They snap at people for no visible reason, and the irritation always traces back to you underneath. Picturing you laughing with someone new or choosing someone new, that image breaks them fundamentally. That image reopens like a wound every single day, and healing cannot begin while the fear still lives. This card tells me they once handled pressure well, and you became the exception to that entirely. Their vulnerability around you is something they resent, and that inner conflict makes everything worse. They never expected one person to hold this much influence over them, and accepting that feels like defeat. The next card coming through is the Three of Swords, and this confirms the pain driving their spiral. The Three of Swords carries heartbreak at its core, and this heartbreak is mostly self-inflicted, honestly. They know your moving on would be a consequence of their choices, and that knowledge destroys them. Three blades pierce through the center of this card, and each one represents a different fear inside them. One blade is the terror of being replaced, and that specific fear keeps them awake most nights lately. The shame of knowing they caused the distance sits in the second blade, with nobody else to blame. The third blade holds the realization that your happiness without them is possible, and it feels like grief. This pain is not hypothetical for them, and it registers in their body as if it already happened. They convince themselves you already moved on, and that assumption alone is eating them from the inside. Their mind builds evidence out of nothing, and every small sign becomes confirmation of their worst fear. Whether any of it holds truth does not matter, because the fear alone does all the damage. Then we have the Tower, and this confirms their inner world is experiencing a full structural collapse now. The Tower only appears when foundations are being shattered, and this is not a minor disruption for them. They built security on the belief that you would wait, and that belief just crumbled beneath their feet. A sudden realization struck them recently, and it changed everything they thought they understood about this. They saw or heard something that triggered the jealousy, and their entire emotional world came crashing down. The shock has not settled inside them yet, and their body is still reacting to what they felt. The tower tells me their body responded violently to the thought, and that reaction exposed their truth. Their stomach dropped and their hands shook, and in that moment they knew how much they need you. What collapsed was not comfort alone, it was the illusion that they could survive without you indefinitely. The tower stripped away their last layer of denial, and what sits underneath is pure, desperate longing. Our last card is the Seven of Swords reversed, and this adds brutal honesty to everything already shown. This card shows someone whose own deceptions are turning inward, and hidden truths are surfacing fast now. They lied to themselves about being over you, and that lie fell apart under its own weight completely. The Seven of Swords reversed confirms every detachment strategy failed, and the failure humiliates them deeply. They feel caught by their own heart with nowhere left, and the exposure overwhelms them completely. Their jealousy stripped away every excuse they built, and what remains is pure, unfiltered attachment to you. Now, let us step fully into your side of this, because your energy is telling its own powerful story here. You have sensed something shifting in the air around this connection, and your gut has not been quiet lately. There is a part of you that already knows this person still thinks about you, and that knowing sits heavy. You carry awareness in your body that most people would miss, and that awareness has kept you alert to them. The confusion is not about whether feelings exist, and it is about what to do with them moving forward. You have been holding your ground quietly, and the strength it took to maintain that posture deserves recognition. Let us see what the cards reveal about where you stand, because your position in this is far from passive. The first card on your side is Strength. And this reflects exactly how you have been handling this entire situation. Strength shows someone who chose patience over reaction, and that choice was not easy for you at all. You could have reached out or demanded answers, and instead you held your composure with incredible discipline. This card confirms that your silence was never weakness, and it came from a place of deep self-respect. You refused to chase what pulled away from you, and that refusal required more courage than most people realize. Strength tells me you channeled your pain into personal growth, and that growth has changed you noticeably. The people around you have seen the shift, and some of them cannot figure out where this new energy came from. You became softer and fiercer at the same time, and that combination is exactly what strength represents here. This card honors the version of you that chose dignity, and that dignity is something nobody can take away. Your grace under pressure was not accidental, and it was a deliberate act of choosing yourself over chaos. The next card we have on your side is the Page of Cups reversed. And this touches something more vulnerable. The Page of Cups reversed tells me you have been guarding your emotional openness, and for good reason, too. You used to lead with your heart in every situation, and this experience taught you to pause before feeling. This card confirms that a piece of your innocence around love was bruised, and you are protecting what remains. You do not trust as freely as you once did, and that shift weighs on you because it feels unfamiliar. The Page of Cups reversed shows someone mourning the version of themselves that loved without hesitation before. You miss who you were before the distance happened, and reconnecting with that version feels risky right now. This card tells me you sometimes wonder if guarding yourself this tightly is worth the loneliness it creates. The answer lives somewhere between protecting your peace and allowing yourself to feel fully alive once more. You know that wall cannot stay up forever, and the tension between safety and desire pulls at you daily. Then we have the Four of Wands reversed, and this reveals what the disruption cost your sense of stability. The Four of Wands reversed shows that your foundation was shaken by what happened, and it has not fully reset. You had a vision of what this connection could become, and watching that vision collapse left a void behind. This card confirms that certain milestones you imagined with this person still cross your mind unexpectedly. A future you once pictured clearly has become uncertain, and sitting with that uncertainty drains your energy. The Four of Wands reversed tells me your home within yourself felt disrupted, and rebuilding took real effort. You created safety from scratch after things fell apart, and that new safety is something you fiercely protect. Letting anyone close to that rebuilt foundation terrifies you because you know how much the last collapse hurt. Our last card for your side is the Queen of Swords, and this shows who you have become through all of it. The Queen of Swords represents clarity earned through pain, and you carry that clarity in every decision now. You see through things faster than you used to, and your tolerance for dishonesty has dropped to almost zero. This card confirms that your mind is sharp and guarded, and you demand truth before you offer any access. The Queen of Swords tells me you have set boundaries that surprise even you, and those boundaries hold firm. You are no longer the person who accepts less than what you deserve, and that transformation is permanent now. This card shows someone who will not beg or bend, and that energy radiates from you whether you realize it. Now, let us go deeper into their world, because what is happening inside this person is intense beyond measure. Their inner landscape has become a war zone, and the battle they are fighting is entirely against themselves. Nobody around them understands the full scope of what they carry, and they have no intention of explaining it. They wake up with you on their mind, and they fall asleep with the same unresolved ache sitting in their chest. The jealousy has become a living thing inside them, and it feeds on every scenario their imagination creates. They cannot separate rational thought from emotional reaction anymore, and that loss of control terrifies them. The cards are going to expose their motives clearly, and nothing in this section will be surface level at all. The first card on their side is the Five of Swords reversed, and this reveals the internal war they are losing. The Five of Swords reversed shows someone who surrendered the fight against their own feelings for you entirely. They tried to convince themselves that letting go was the mature choice, and that argument collapsed long ago. This card confirms that the pride they used as armor has been punctured, and regret flooded through the opening. They replay the moments where they could have chosen differently, and each replay sharpens the pain further. The Five of Swords reversed tells me they feel defeated by their own decisions, not by anything you did to them. Their motive for staying silent was never indifference, and this card strips that possibility away completely now. What drove the distance was a fear of vulnerability so deep that they chose loneliness over the risk of exposure. They would rather suffer alone than admit how badly they miscalculated, and that stubbornness is crumbling fast. This card paints someone exhausted from pretending the battle is over when it clearly never stopped raging inside. The next card coming through is the High Priestess reversed, and this unlocks their most hidden layer of truth. The High Priestess reversed shows someone who ignored their own intuition and paid a devastating price for it. They knew in their gut that walking away from you was wrong, and they overrode that knowing with fear instead. This card confirms that their deepest self has been screaming at them to return, and they keep muting it. The High Priestess reversed tells me they have dreams about you, and those dreams feel more real than waking life. Their subconscious will not let you go, no matter how many walls their conscious mind tries to construct. They catch your name in random places, and their pulse changes, and that physical response embarrasses them deeply. This card reveals that their spiritual connection to you is something they cannot logic their way out of at all. They have tried rationalizing the bond away 100 times, and each attempt only reinforced how permanent it is. The High Priestess reversed exposes someone at war with their own knowing, and their knowing is winning slowly. Then we have the Knight of Cups, and this card reveals the romantic obsession living beneath their jealousy now. The Knight of Cups tells me this person idealizes you in private, and that idealization has only grown with time. They think about your laugh at unexpected moments, and the memory hits them like something physical and sharp. This card confirms that romance is not dead inside them, and every romantic impulse they feel points toward you. The Knight of Cups shows someone composing messages they never send, and deleting confessions before dawn arrives. Their phone holds evidence of how many times they almost reached out, and the drafts folder tells the real story. This card tells me the jealousy is fueled by romantic attachment they never properly expressed when they had access. They regret every moment they held back affection, and that regret has mutated into possessiveness from the distance. The Knight of Cups reveals that their jealousy is not about control. It is about losing something they treasured. Our last card on their side is the Eight of Cups reversed, and this confirms they cannot walk away from you. The Eight of Cups reversed shows someone who tried to leave emotionally and found themselves turning back always. Every attempt to close the chapter on you failed, and the book keeps falling open to the same familiar page. This card confirms that their heart refused the ending their mind tried to write, and the refusal is absolute. The Eight of Cups reversed tells me they feel stuck between a past they want and a present that feels hollow. Nothing ahead of them excites their spirit. So now we shift into what this person is about to do, and the cards show decisive movement forming fast. The sitting still phase is ending for them, and something concrete is about to replace all that internal noise. Their jealousy has pushed them past the point of inaction, and what comes next involves you directly and soon. They have reached a threshold where doing nothing feels more dangerous than risking everything with the truth. The fear of losing you permanently has officially overtaken the fear of being vulnerable in front of you. That tipping point changes everything, and the cards are confirming exactly what that shift looks like in motion. The first card in the action spread is the Ace of Wands, and this brings a surge of initiative to the table. The Ace of Wands represents a spark of new determination, and this spark has already been lit inside them. They woke up recently with a clarity they did not have before, and that clarity is pushing them to act. This card confirms that the decision to reach out is no longer something they debate. It is something they plan. The Ace of Wands carries bold energy, and the move they are preparing will not be subtle or easily missed. They are tired of operating from the shadows, and this card tells me they want to be seen by you again. The approach will feel direct and intentional, and it will carry a weight that casual conversation does not hold. This card shows someone gathering momentum quickly, and once the first step is taken, the rest will follow rapidly. The Ace of Wands tells me their jealousy became the fuel, and that fuel is now powering forward motion only. They are channeling everything they felt into a concrete plan, and that plan centers on making contact with you. This is not a vague desire to reconnect someday, and the timeline the cards show is much closer than expected. The next card here is Justice, and this adds a very specific dimension to the action that is coming your way. Justice tells me this person wants to make things right, and they are approaching the situation with accountability. They are not coming back with excuses or deflection, and this card confirms they intend to own what happened. Justice shows someone who has weighed the situation honestly and accepted their role in creating the distance fully. The move they make will include an admission of fault, and that admission will feel genuine when it reaches you. This card tells me they have spent time preparing what they need to say, and fairness guides their approach now. Justice confirms that the action is not impulsive or desperate. It is measured and rooted in real accountability. They want to present themselves as someone who grew from the mistake, not someone who simply missed the comfort. The approach will feel mature in a way that might surprise you, and that maturity was earned through their pain. Justice also tells me they are prepared to hear your side fully, and they expect honesty in return from you. They are not coming to convince you or pressure you, and the cards confirm they are coming to lay truth down. Our last card in the action spread is the Six of Wands, and this reveals the outcome energy around their move. The Six of Wands carries victory and recognition, and its presence here tells me their effort will land successfully. This card confirms that when they finally step forward, the reception will be better than their fears predicted. The Six of Wands shows someone who earns respect through courage, and their courage in this will be visible. This is not a card of easy wins, and the success it promises comes specifically because the effort was genuine. Their action will shift the dynamic between you noticeably, and the stagnation that existed will break immediately. The Six of Wands tells me you will see them differently after this move, and old assumptions will be challenged. What they bring to the table will carry substance, and it will be difficult to dismiss once it is in front of you. This card confirms that momentum favors them once they begin, and hesitation is the only thing that could stop it. All three cards together paint a clear picture of deliberate action, and that action is locked in their trajectory. The jealousy that consumed them is transforming into purpose, and that purpose has one destination in mind only. Movement toward you is no longer a question of whether it happens, and the cards confirm it is a matter of when. Okay, now we enter the part they guard the most, because these confessions live where nobody is allowed in. This is what they would say if fear had no voice, and what sits here has been building for a very long time. They have rehearsed these words in the dark and swallowed them back down before morning could hear a thing. The depth of what they hide about you would shift everything if it ever reached the surface between you both. Their public face says one thing, and their private truth says something so different it would stun you completely. The cards are pulling the curtain back now, and what lives behind it belongs entirely to you, whether they admit it. The first card in their confessions is the Lovers, and this is one of the most powerful cards to appear here. The Lovers does not surface in hidden confessions unless the person views you as a soul-level match inside them. Their private confession is that they believe you are the one, and that belief never wavered, even through distance. They compared every interaction since you to what they had with you, and nothing registered on the same level. The Lovers confirms that their heart selected you permanently, and no amount of separation reversed that selection. What they will not say out loud is that they feel spiritually bound to you, and it frightens them to admit. They have whispered your name in moments of weakness, and wished you could somehow hear it across the distance. The Lovers tells me they fantasize about a life where they never left, and that fantasy plays on a constant loop. Their confession is not casual missing, and this card makes clear it is a bone-deep recognition of who you are. They see you as irreplaceable in every possible sense, and living without that truth being known is suffocating. The Lovers reveal someone who made their choice long ago internally, and just never had the courage to declare it. The next card is the Ten of Cups reversed, and this exposes the specific future they grieve in silence every night. The Ten of Cups reversed shows someone mourning a happiness they believe they threw away with their own hands. They had a vision of building something lasting with you, and that vision still exists, fully formed inside them. This card confirms that they pictured a home with you, routines with you, and a shared life that felt complete. The Ten of Cups reversed tells me their confession includes imagining holidays together that never got to happen. They think about waking up beside you on ordinary mornings, and that ordinary image carries extraordinary weight. Their grief is not about romance alone, and it extends into a domestic future they feel they personally destroyed. This card reveals that they mourn the mundane moments most, because those are the ones that prove real love exists. They wanted grocery runs with you, and quiet evenings with you, and losing access to that simplicity wrecks them. The Ten of Cups reversed exposes someone haunted by a future that felt certain, and now feels like a closed door. Their jealousy ties directly into this confession, because imagining you building that life with someone else guts them. Then we have the Ace of Pentacles, and this final card reveals a desire they have never spoken to a single soul. The Ace of Pentacles tells me they want to offer you stability, and they have been quietly working toward that. Their hidden desire is to return as someone who can actually provide, and not just promise things without follow-through. This card confirms that they have been making changes behind the scenes, and those changes are aimed at deserving you. The Ace of Pentacles shows someone building a foundation in silence and planning to present it when the time comes. Their confession includes wanting to prove they grew, and that proof matters more to them than words ever could. They do not want to come back empty-handed, and this card tells me they are preparing something tangible for you. The Ace of Pentacles reveals that their love language shifted toward action, and security is what they want to offer. They imagine placing something real and solid at your feet, and watching your expression change from guarded to open. Every confession across these three cards paints someone consumed by a love they cannot contain much longer inside. Their jealousy was never about possession, and the cards confirm it was always about protecting something sacred to them. What this person hides from the world is a devotion so complete that even they struggle to comprehend its full depth. The truth they carry in silence is simple and devastating, and it is that you are the only person who ever. Now, let us close this reading with what the near future holds, because the cards are ending on a clear note. The energy ahead is not vague or uncertain, and what is forming between you has a timeline attached to it now. The shifts that began internally for this person are about to cross over into your visible reality very soon. You will not have to guess much longer about where things stand, because clarity is arriving on its own terms. The first card for the near future is the World, and this is one of the most complete cards in the entire deck. The World confirms that a full cycle is reaching its conclusion, and a new chapter is preparing to open for you. What felt unfinished between you and this person is approaching its resolution, and closure will come with answers. The World tells me the next phase brings wholeness, and the fragmented energy around this connection starts healing. This card does not promise perfection, but it promises completion of what has been left hanging for too long now. The next card is the Wheel of Fortune, and this confirms that timing is shifting in your favor very specifically. The Wheel of Fortune shows fate stepping in where free will hesitated, and the rotation has already begun turning. Circumstances outside of both your control are aligning, and those circumstances will create the opening for contact. This card tells me a chance encounter or unexpected moment will act as the catalyst that neither of you planned. The Wheel of Fortune confirms that the universe is no longer waiting on either of you to make the first move. Our final card is the Two of Wands, and this shows both of you standing at the edge of a shared new beginning. The Two of Wands tells me a decision point is approaching fast, and it will require honesty from both sides equally. This card confirms that the future holds a real conversation, and that conversation will reshape the connection entirely. Now here's the advice the cards leave you with, and it is important that you carry this forward intentionally. When the shift happens and this person appears in your space again, let your body tell you what your